Hi, I'm responding to a client question about how to deal with somebody who's violent, making threats, inserting himself into her life in ways that absolutely don't feel okay. So I gave you a series of questions to answer by email, and you gave some wonderful, thoughtful replies. And I'm going to simply address the place where we're looking at, why do you think this is happening now? Like, what's the message for you or the gift for you in this situation? And you recognize that you know it's for you. This is not something happening against you. So why would the face of God show up for you this way? Now, you made a few guesses, and they were in the realm of forgiveness, but I'm not there yet, or just kind of these spiritual responses of sort of like, what would some nice thing to learn be? And then you didn't say boundaries as the thing that you might need to learn. You did say equal to the task of dealing with him. That's nice. But you did, in that same paragraph, for whatever reason, say, how can I draw boundaries with someone who elicits panic in me? So I'm guessing that on some level you know that boundaries could be a very good answer to that question. Sometimes the face of God comes that we need to say no to, or that we learn to draw boundaries with. If we haven't been good at that, someone's got to show up for us to learn how to draw, declare, absolutely hold, and know that the boundary is valid. That sentence got away from me, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so you have already plenty of reasons here to get an order of protection. There is absolutely no good reason not to do that. So, you're saying there have actually been threats that go to the point of threatening to kill, and you have a direct experience of this person once trying to break into your house when you were there alone, and you had the experience of this person actually harming somebody close to you. That's enough. So there's absolutely no reason for you to wait and see what happens next, or, wait for something that actually gives you cause to create an order of protection. You've got cause. So one of the things, this is a great parent lesson, and so I invite you to use it as a metaphor, and some people watching will have the parenting actually in place in your life as something that's not metaphorical. So I watch people often say things to their children that are about sort of, this is going to happen if you do or don't do that. And it's the most fascinating thing to watch parents not draw a clear boundary, not follow through with what they're saying, or simply even just do the right thing to do without a lot of talking about if this, then that. And then the kid does it and they're like, well, that feels really mean to do what I said, leave the library without checking out books, leave the party in the middle of the party, whatever it is. So I'm going to say again, if you do that, we're going to leave, I mean it. And they might do this several times. It's the most fascinating thing. So the message the kid is getting, well, there are several messages. One of them is, I really don't mean it when I threaten you. I don't mean it when I say I'm going to take appropriate action in response to what you're doing. I'm actually cool with you ignoring me several times before I take action. But the other weird thing that happens is, while the parent is sort of escalating their threat or their I mean it tone, they're weirdly getting meaner and meaner. And I think the fear often behind this is, I don't want to be mean. It's mean to like deprive your kid of a party or of the library or whatever. And maybe the parent doesn't want to deprive themselves, so they've made the wrong threat. Maybe they actually want to stay at the library till they have the books they want to have in the house, or to stay at the party because they're enjoying the other grown-ups there, or whatever. But it could even just be, I don't want to be mean to you. So you're being mean when you try not to be mean. Be clear. Be kind by letting your child experience the appropriate consequences for what's happening. And consequences, by the way, never have to be mean. They don't even have to be punitive. Like, you need to leave a space when thunder and lightning starts to hit, for example. And so, it's not, oh, we're being punished because we're leaving early because there's thunder and lightning. It's time to go. We thought we were staying this long, but, life showed us there was a very good reason to leave earlier. It's time to go if your kid is tantruming or harming other kids or whatever. And it's the only lesson they really need is, when this happens, then this is what makes sense, and we just do it, and we don't resist it and fight against it by talking about it incessantly or continuing to threaten while the thing that we keep threatening we're responding to keeps happening. All of that is insane. Okay, so in this case, you don't need to have a discussion. You're not being mean if you draw the order of protection. You're being most unkind to yourself if you don't appropriately protect yourself. And so one of the things that you posited as possibly something you need to learn here, or the gift here, is that you would learn you're equal to meeting this person. Well, be equal to it by putting in place the appropriate things. If that's a court order, use that. And whatever you need, whatever supports you need in place to draw the boundary you need and uphold the boundary you need, put those in place. And if you feel some discomfort about that, meet that discomfort. Be still with it. Write down, I'm uncomfortable that I laid out this sort of protection, and that means that. And get all your thoughts down about what's not okay about that. What someone thinks about you, how you're betraying someone or harming someone or not being kind, or you should have been able to do it without that, or whatever it is, so that you can meet those thoughts and find that very likely they're not true. At the very least, you'll find they're not 100% true. So I invite you to take clear and appropriate action. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to address, which is, you mentioned there's somebody else in this story who really isn't supporting the idea of you shutting this person out. And so what you need to do is, because you care about this person, give them your reasons. Be clear. Later, if they ask questions, or if they forget your reasons, or if they violate what you've asked for, just give your reasons again. And, you can have the conversation as many times as it takes, as long as you're still willing. If you find that you don't want to have it anymore, then don't have it anymore. But don't expect the person who isn't as directly affected as you to come along with you on this. And it's okay if they don't, and you still get to draw your boundary, and you don't have to do it with anger toward the other. You can do it with clarity and consistency. And again, having a legal thing in place would give you the support you need to sort of counter the force of both of these beings coming at you. The one who sort of doesn't want you to take too strong action, and the one who's actually being violent and threatening, to whom you owe no explanation or apology. Set the boundary. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you.